Do I vlog or do I make a podcast? I don't know. Decisions. We'll see. I decided to go ahead and do a podcast anyway. So, hi, welcome. I am in my new space. So first let me introduce myself. It's early in the morning. Everything is scattered. I've had one cup of coffee, getting there a little bit. But hi, I'm Alicia, and this is the Apple Crafts podcast, where I talk about mostly my knitting and a little bit of crochet. I don't have any crochet today. And so I'm in a new space because last week me and my son changed rooms. So now he has the bigger craft room and I have his bedroom, and his bedroom is going to be my craft room because I'm downsizing pretty much everything. So yeah, I'm in the midst of chaos. This was the best background that I could come up with, considering what's going on, because I'm still in the middle of shampooing carpets. I don't really have a place to put my stuff, so I have to kind of shuffle things one corner, get room done, or part of the room done, shuffle things to the other corner when the carpet's dry, shuffle all that. And while I'm talking, I will show a video of my room. So I have decided on a paint color, and I have to do all that after I'm done with shampooing the carpets, and then I can get ready to decorate the room. And then, yeah, we'll be ready to roll. While I'm chatting about that. So part of the reason why I'm downsizing, in case you missed that, was I'm downsizing my business and I'm getting rid of a lot of crafty stuff that I don't work with anymore, and so I'm donating those supplies. And the craft room that I was previously in was more for functionality, whereas this time, since it's a smaller space, I'm going to focus more on cozy, since I'm going in different directions anyway. So that's the plan. So today's agenda for the video is I have a few finished makes. This is one of them. If you saw my vlog last time, I talked briefly about it. And I've got some works in progress, and I'm going to talk a little bit about dream knitting. I don't normally do that, but I've had some patterns that have been on my mind for the last month, so I figure, you know, when I'm done with all this stuff in the room, I'm going to start working on my dream projects. So right now, my works in progress are mostly just not even stockinette's garter. So it's just, you know, things that I can work on, still make progress, not have to think too hard while I'm doing other things that's going on in my life, yada yada. So let's get started. Okay, so I keep pointing to this, so we'll get to this first. This is cat hair. That's the other thing. When I get this room done, I will have cats in it. But you see that door in there? That's a closet. So I'll still be selling yarn, and all that's going in there. So still no cats are going to be near my product. Okay, back to this. So this is Slip Stitch Party by Isabell Kraemer. I'll throw a photo up here of the original. And it's done. Actually, this is kind of handy. I don't even have to stand up. I can just... This is styrofoam, so it's going to squeak. Sorry. So this is first slip stitch pattern, and the colors were heather. That's the light color. I may have to actually look this up so you see it. The light color I think was heather, and then the dark color was Wales Road by Malabrigo. The heather, I can't think of the name of the company, but it was a merino bamboo fingering weight yarn. So that's the first section. And then it goes into There's slight modification because I think the original had 5 colors and I have 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I do have 5 colors. But I didn't do it exactly the way that the pattern was. I kind of fudged it a little bit just for length. So I added a little bit here. This is supposed to be here, but I added more here. This is, oh God. You know, you'd think I'd have the, I do not, because in the shuffle of moving and stuff, I don't have the names of anything anymore. I'm sorry. But it's this light color. Actually, I think it might be, no, I don't know. Hot mess. I'm a hot mess today. So anyway, we have the stockinette with the black here, and then it goes into the second slip stitch pattern here. And then we go into a little bit of stockinette, which I did extend on both sides. And I guess I'm gonna have to get up. All right. So we have some of that slip stitch there, and this purple color is Savarduria from Malabrigo sock. And then we go into this checkerboard. Now I do remember when I showed you last time with this checkerboard that there was a stripe going down here. So I pulled all that out because I didn't like it. I didn't want to live with it, so I just pulled it out. And I'm definitely happier that I did that. And it was definitely a me issue. I wasn't sure if it was me or the pattern, and I was pretty sure it was going to be me anyway because I've knit Isabelle Kraemer before, and I know there's not an issue usually. So, and if there is, she's on it to fix it. So, yeah, that was definitely me problem. So I fixed that, and then you just go back into the stockinette, which I think I extended for another row, and then you just do ribbing. For like, I think I shortened that. I think it's actually supposed to be like 2 inches, and I did 1, but I just knit to what I thought looked good, and then I stopped. So, and that's what it's ending with Savarduria. So in my vlog, I wasn't sure how long it would, how the length would be. I think I was guessing 62, 64. So let's see, we are at like 66, 67. So very good. And it's very drapey. I knit this on a US 4. I think the original pattern was a 5. But honestly, I don't really pay attention to what the original needle is on anything because I'm a tight knitter, so I always have to go up a needle anyway. So it might have actually been knit on a 3. And I knitted on a 4. Because I definitely knitted on 4. I don't know. Okay, it's hot in here. It's July in Tennessee. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Okay. I got 2 more finishes. I have, all my stuff is over here on the floor because I have nowhere else to put it. So, just trying to make sense of the mess. I have 2 more squares, and they're exactly the same except for color. So this was square 7 of Nora's Vintage Afghan. It's a free pattern. Oh, this one is not a free pattern, but if you follow Isabelle Kraemer, you probably know that. But she does have a lot of sales. So I have not blocked these yet because I just haven't had time or space or any of that. So they'll eventually get blocked, maybe in a week or 2. But this is what I was using up the rest of my scraps, and then I had this color. It was a full ball, so I finished it off with that. This was a really easy cable pattern this time. That's why I made 2, because it was simple enough for me to do at night while I'm tired without really making any mistakes. So this is the second one. And I'm blocking all of these out to 14 by 14. And there are directions in the pattern for how to stitch them together. And I haven't looked at it yet because I'm still focused on making squares with all of my scraps. These particular ones are alpaca. And I still have, they're not in my basket, but I still have a ball and a half of alpaca in different colors. And I do have, this is the thicker alpaca that's in my basket. I think I got this one at Smart Supply. Yeah, I did. I think it's, actually, I don't know why I'm saying alpaca, because it might not be. I don't know what it is, because I got it at Smart Supply and there's no label on it. So my guess is it's definitely a wool. I couldn't tell you what kind. I mean, my educated guess would be it's some kind of mix, and it might actually be like Shetland and something, just because we have Shetland farms around here. So that's just a guess. But I don't know. I looked at it more for the color and for the weight of yarn, because I'm trying to stay somewhat consistent with the weight of yarn, so that I don't have to do too much finagling when I sew up the blanket. That's my thought anyway. So that's all I have for finishes. And then works in progress. So last time I showed you, I'll do this because it's on the top. I don't think I talked about this in my vlog, but I do believe I talked about it in my last actual podcast. So let me look at my notes. This is the Winter Solstice by Baah yarn. And I'll throw up a picture somewhere, probably over here. And I am using up my, what am I using? Knit Picks Capretta Superwash Pinot Heather. So it's an 80-10-10, 80% superfine merino wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And actually the color is spot on, so that's nice. You know, I do like the lighting a little bit better in this room too, because even though it's really super sunny out, the sun's like over here, and so I'm not getting direct sunlight. Plus I've got like a curtain over here, so I can kind of figure that out. So it's working out. So this may end up being the podcast corner. We'll see. So anyway, that's the color, Pinot Heather. And I had 2.5 balls of this. I'm kind of getting tired of working on this pattern, but I would like to use this up because it's not, I'm guessing right now that this shawl is at like 50 inches, which I can wear 50 inches, but so I may cut into that ball. So it's basically just garter and, actually let me do it this way so you can see what it looks like from the top down. It's just garter and drop stitch, and you can basically just put them wherever you want. This is a paid for pattern, but yeah, it's just garter and drop stitches. So what I did was, after I got tired of doing that, is what I started doing was thin rows of garter and then drop stitches, and then I started adding rows. No, I'm losing my light. I started adding rows, and then I decided to play around with it. So what I'm doing now, this is my marker to tell me where the center of the shawl is, and how do I explain this? I'm trying to get it where the drop stitches go like this. So one side's going like that, and the other side's going like this, and then the next side's going like that, and the next. That's kind of where I'm trying to go with that. I'm just playing around with it, and then what I'm also doing, and actually I really don't know if it shows up on. Yeah, okay, it kind of does. So these are the normal drop stitches right here, and then what I started doing was taking those drop stitches and then twisting the stitches. So like, you know, knit the drop stitch, and then just take one off the needle, pick up the other one, and then, so they're like this, which makes it where the holes are just slightly bigger. So it's kind of coming out the way I was envisioning, but not really. But this is the first time I've ever done that, so I don't see myself really doing it again, and it's not a big deal. So So that's that. I am knitting this, I think on a 6. But these are Chiagus and they're hard to read, so yeah, it's a 6. And it's a 40-inch cable, which is why I have to estimate how long I have this. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking it every few inches and going from end to end and then guesstimating how much stretch it would be if I actually stretched it out, which is where I'm getting 50 from. I might actually be a little bit past 50 at this point. But I only have this much yarn left, which is like, oh boy, maybe another inch. So that's why I'm trying to decide if I want to do another, if I want to cut into this cake or not. What I could do is put in a waste yarn and then actually get an accurate measurement. I don't know if I want to go through all that though. I don't know. But I would hate to, you know, bind off and then block it and then it's too small too. I mean, Smart Supply will take partial skeins. So there's that. And if they have it's helpful for them if I have the tag too. So I may end up breaking into this because it is donation based and they'll just put a price depending on how much is there. So, I mean, everybody wins, but you know, it'd be cool if people could get like a full skein or something, you know. So that's my thought on that. Okay. My next whip is Lilli Pilli. Okay, what's going on? Oh, nice. All right. So on my vlog, I had just started the lace portion of this shawl. This is Lilli Pilli by Ambah. And I was like over here somewhere. So I just finished the lace portion and I'm back on the stripes. And this is a wrap that is, you know, I used to be good at geometry. Parallelogram, I think is what it's called. So it's at an angle. I got a thing for purple, can you tell? I think I talked about that before. There's so much purple in my life. It is what it is. So, yeah, these colors are, found the tag. I think I showed the tag last time too. I don't remember. This color is my light contrasting. So this is mushroom. Yeah, the colors are coming out great. I like that. All right, this is mushroom. That's the label. She's no longer dyeing. She stopped dyeing yarn, oh boy, 4 years ago, I think. 5 years ago. There we go. And the darker main color is Knit Pick Stroll Fingering. And it's 75-25 superwash merino nylon. And the color is Eggplant. It's 231 yards. And my lace is an undyed merino nylon stellina, 5% stellina. Oh yeah, you can see the sparkle too. So that's my lace. I don't think that the purple will bleed into the white. I'm still going to use a color catcher when I block. I don't think it's going to bleed because I have used this Eggplant before for something. I don't remember why, it was a long time ago. But I didn't have any bleeding issues. But I'm still going to use a color catcher anyway because you never know. Things happen with your water. You know, these are things you have to pay attention to, especially when you're a yarn dyer. And the pH in your water can be a little bit different depending on what they're doing over at the source, and you know, whatever, however they dyed it that time, or there's all kinds of factors. So I'm just going to be safe and use a color catcher anyway, but I don't think I'll have any bleeding issues. So yeah, anyway, so I have this section of stripes, I have the lace, and then I'm going back into stripes, which is going to be a longer section of stripes, and then it finishes off with a short section of lace, and then I'll be done. So I suspect I will be on the stripes for a while, because it took me a while to do it the first time, but I was working on other things. I'm only working on 2 projects right now, so maybe it won't take me as long as I think it would. But we'll see. So there's that. And this is being knit on, here we go again. Here we go again. 5. US 5. Oh, I didn't tell you the millimeters last time, did I? 5 is a 3.75 millimeter. So there you go. And this is a 40-inch cable. Okay. And I'm in a tangle. Nice. Oh boy. Jeez. I almost never show socks. But I did say a few podcast episodes ago when I was showing off my yarn from Atlanta that when I worked with this one particular yarn, I would show you how it worked up. Now, I know some people are particular with their socks, so this might drive you a little nuts, especially since it's self-striping. So just be warned, it's not going to be perfect, okay? But I did manage to split the skein where I have one side is orange and blue and the other side is pink and green. So my plan, I knit the same socks all the time because I don't like knitting socks, but I need something to do when I'm out and about. So it's always the same. It's vanilla socks, toe up, 2 at a time, magic loop. I start off with 14 stitches, work up to 30 on each side, so it's a 60 stitches all around. And then I knit up to 6 3/4 inches, and then I do, if I'm going to put in a heel, that's when I put in my heel. And I always do a short row heel if I'm doing it that way. Otherwise I'll do an afterthought. Those are the only 2 heels that I use. So I am planning on doing short row heel with this one, and then somewhere along the heel I'm going to switch colors. So here we'll have the green and orange, and here this one will have the, not green and orange, blue and orange, and then this one will have the pink and green. So I'm just going to swap colors. So that's how it's working up. These are my balls, and it's not an equal split, so it's going to be interesting doing a little bit of yarn management when I get to that point. I'm not really all that worried about it. So, and I do have the label for that. And I double checked to make sure this was the correct label. So this is Earth Yarns. They're self-striping. It's the unique fingering base. And the color is 3011. There we go. 3011. And it is 100% merino, 435 yards. So, I actually still have the website up, and there's a lot of cool colors in there, so you might want to check that out. Okay, dream knitting. It's not going to be a new segment. I'm not going to do this every time, but like I said, I have some things that have been on my mind for a little while, so I wanted to talk about them. So when I was doing my yarn stash video months ago, I was talking about this beautiful red yarn that I found at my local yarn store, House of Yarn. So I bought one skein there, and then I bought the same skein in Alabama. Yeah. So I have that. I did pick up a third one and tried to over dye it to match these because I ended up getting one that was not the right color that I thought it was. And I do have it here. I mean, it's almost similar, but it leans a little bit orange, so it's like you can barely pick it up on the camera, but it is a little bit different. So I don't know if I'm going to use this one or not. So my plan right now is to find patterns that don't use a third skein and then just save this for something else, because it's still pretty, but it's not matching like I thought it would. But my thought for this is to knit the Numirlintu, and the designer for that is Heidi Alander, and I'll throw up a picture over here. And I picked up that pattern a long time ago, and I didn't check to see if it's free or not. I don't think it's free. But that's my plan for this yarn. I have enough for that, so we're gonna do that. And this yarn is Variations DK. Oh, I should definitely have enough then. And it's 225 yards, and the color is Midnight Ruby. And this is the front of the tag. Come on. All right, and then that's it for things to show you. But the other things that I have for my dream knitting, let me just put my paper in front of me. I'm thinking about, once I'm done with the room and everything, I would like to get back to garment making, because it feels really weird to go this long in a year without having really knit a sweater. I did knit, what, 2 tank tops or something, which technically are garments, but they're not sweaters, pullovers, long sleeve. And I normally knit like 8 or 9 of those in a year. The thing is that I'm at the point now where most of my wardrobe is done. Actually, pretty much all of my wardrobe is done. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how I can hone in on my wardrobe where it's more cohesive. Because I can put, every single sweater that I've made has a scarf or 2 or 3 that will go with it, but I kind of want to knit some things that will work with more of what I have accessory wise, if that makes sense. So I've got 2 shirts that I was thinking of, and then I do want to knit another tank top in that, and I'm just going to use existing yarn that's in my stash for that. But the other 2, the 2 sweaters that I want to do, I'm actually going to dye yarn for. So I'm thinking of like a cool gray that hopefully will go with most of my accessories. So the 2 patterns that I was thinking about are actually patterns I've already knit before. And one of them is the Lariat. I'll throw a picture over here. And that's by Yamagara. And I have knit that one before, actually, with this. That was what the initial purchase of this yarn was for. And that yarn, I highly do not recommend for garments, because it turned into a hot mess and is tragic. So I'm going to probably knit it with Polworth. I think I have some Polworth that I just bought. I haven't opened up that package yet. And then I want to reknit the Revival by ANKESTRiCK, and I'll throw that picture here too. And then for giggles, I'll throw in a picture of the one that I did make. And even though like the construction for the top here was a little bit odd, like that's one of my most worn sweaters for fall and spring. So I definitely want to knit that again. So, and same color palette, I want to do like a cool gray, and then hopefully that will try to find something that's simple enough but for the weather down here, it still goes with, like, I can wear a shawl or a scarf or not, and it's basically is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that will flatter me, that is, you know, doesn't have any cables and this, that, and the other. Although Lariat does have it, but it's simple enough where I don't think it's gonna fight with my shawls. I may change my mind on this. I'm definitely gonna do Revival, and I'm definitely gonna do the Maia tank. Did I say I was gonna do the Maia tank? I don't think I did. I'm running out of time on my thing here. I'm gonna have to like stop and figure out what's going on with my camera, and so I'm feeling a little bit rushed. The other thing the tank top that I'm gonna knit is a reknit, and that's gonna be Maia by Taija. I might be saying that wrong. And that one's a free pattern, and it came out in 2008, and it's one size, so, but it's easily modifiable. So like basically all you're really doing is figuring out your stitch count for the straps and for the body. Like, just do a gauge swatch. It's not that hard because there's nothing to it. So easy peasy. But yeah, those are my thoughts. So actually I think I'm gonna cut it off now, since I only have like 20 seconds. No, I have like a minute left. So I hope this wasn't too disjointed. Hopefully next time I'll be a little bit more, you know, together, and I'll have a spot, and we'll see what's going on with that. So thank you to all the new viewers who are here and new subscribers. Welcome. I'm glad you're here, and maybe we'll do a giveaway at, you know, close to 200 subscribers. We'll see. Yeah, that's it. So have a good rest of the week, and I will see you next time. Bye.